One of the things I've noticed in books and classes on Thelema is how often it's taught in a disjointed way. You'll usually hear the story of Aleister Crowley, how he received the Book of the Law on his honeymoon with Rose. You'll hear about the law of do what thou wilt. You'll hear about how we are no longer in the old aeon of the father, but the new aeon of the child. You might hear about Crowley's time in the Golden Dawn, about spiritual practices like magic and meditation, and you might hear about things like knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel and crossing the abyss. And while this introduction is fine for beginners, it's often where people stop. Even after years of study and practice, many Thelemites still only relate to Thelema as a collection of facts about Crowley's biography, about the rights of the individual, or about ceremonial magic. But Thelema is more than just a set of historical details and scattered spiritual practices. It's actually a systematic approach to spirituality. And if you want to deepen your understanding of Thelema, you need to approach it in a more hierarchical fashion. In this video, I'm going to give you a 201 level approach to Thelema, an organized way of understanding its principles and practices that connects everything together. But before I begin, you know the drill. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps boost us in the algorithm and get this content out to more of the people who need to hear it. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I will leave a link to my Patreon in the description for this video. Now take your seats. Thelema 201 is in session. Let's start by thinking of Thelema as a pyramid. At its base is its foundation, the magical theory of the universe. This theory comes from the Book of the Law, and Crowley expounded upon it in chapter 0 of Magic in Theory and Practice, in the commentaries to the Book of the Law, in the 0 chapter of the Book of Lies, and in his early essay, Bereshith. The magical theory of the universe has two parts: metaphysics and theology. The metaphysical theory is called 0 equals 2. At its core, it's the idea that nothingness expresses itself as an infinity of perspectives on infinite possibility. The theology was presented to Crowley in something called the star sponge vision. These infinite perspectives are not completely abstract. They are stars, souls, or gods. As the Book of the Law says, every man and every woman is a star. From this foundation, we can see that each of us is an infinite God using finite life as a means of exploring ourselves and the universe. Our existence as finite beings is not a limitation, but a tool for divine self-exploration. This magical theory of the universe supports a second level, which is the theory of liberation. If we are infinite gods, then our purpose here is twofold. One, to serve our true selves, the infinite gods that sent us here, by becoming reliable instruments for their knowledge and expression. And two, to shift our identity from the ego to our true selves, thereby liberating ourselves from suffering and the fear of death. This is where we move from theory to intention. Thelema's right intention is to realize our true nature, to realize that we are stars or gods that are living in dynamic relationship with Nuit, who is the sum total of all possibilities. I refer to this shift in identity from finite ego to infinite consciousness as star consciousness or Rahor Kuit consciousness. We might also call this enlightenment or gnosis. But reading about this information and thinking about it is not enough to make it real. That's where spiritual practices like magic and meditation come in. The purpose of these practices is to bridge the gap between theory and experience, to go from simply reading about the magical universe to finding yourself in it. Spiritual practices use symbols to make the invisible visible, to take abstract ideas and make them tangible. By interacting with these symbols through rituals and meditations, we embody the principles they represent. This isn't just about changing your mindset. It's about changing your very being, your way of experiencing yourself and the world. For example, in Thelema, the sun symbolizes your true self or star. Understanding this isn't just about decoding symbolism from other traditions. It's about engaging with the sun in Thelemic practices to awaken to your own divinity. Here's a crucial point. Practice is only thelemic if the intention behind it is to realize your divine consciousness. You could perform countless rituals, but if they don't aim toward this goal, they're not thelemic. On the other hand, something as simple as living honestly and aligning with your true values and your true self could be considered deeply thelemic. The rigor behind this definition is what gives it its flexibility. It focuses on the intention behind the practice rather than the specific form that it takes. Similarly, thelemic theory isn't just about knowing everything that Crowley said on a given subject. The point of thelemic text is not to gather dead facts, but to put them together into a mirror for your own divine consciousness. The ultimate goal is to open the book of the law and to see yourself reflected back at you. To understand that these are not just Crowley's revelations, but also your own. Thelema is not a scattered collection of ideas and practices. It's a cohesive system that begins with a theory of the universe, flows into an intention, and which manifests as practices which transform your identity. By approaching Thelema systematically, you can begin to transform your consciousness and to live as the star that you truly are. If this approach to Thelema resonates with you, let me know down in the comments. How do you integrate Thelema into your whole life? And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you check out the next video where we're going to dive even deeper into our understanding of Thelema. Love is the law, love under will.